I wonder if he was quite happy about having pigeons on his head for eternity. Bit late for that now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. How are you all? Happy 2025. It's actually, I can't believe it's come around so quickly. Isn't that incredible? I hope you all had an amazing holiday. Happy holidays, by the way. Hopefully you've broken all your resolutions already. Ladies and gents, I'm inside one of my favourite parks in London because we're going back to basics. We're going back to where it all began for us. We're taking a big, long, historic walk through one of the most beautiful boroughs in London. Today is all about Kensington High Street and Holland Park. We are going to break it all down. The origins of Kensington Palace. We're going to visit St. Mary Abbots. We're going to see some amazing celebrity homes, but some beautiful neighbourhood. I mean, just one of the most desired addresses in London. Join me. I'm excited about this because I like getting back to basics, and we need a good long walk anyway, don't we? After the indulgence of Christmas. Let's do Kensington and Chelsea. Join me. I'm excited. I'm just coming out of High Street Kensington after taking the train, and already we're struck with something absolutely amazing. Look at this Tim Burton exhibit, you guys. The World of Tim Burton, which is taking place, an amazing exhibit on the life and works of Tim Burton, actually, and that is in the Design Museum. And already you feel like Edward Scissorhands has been in the building. We're just going to head out here onto the High Street, you guys. And we're going to make our way towards St. Mary's Abbots. I love this area. So this is the actual High Street. And we're making our way now towards the church. And eventually heading up to some of the most exclusive properties in London. This is one of the most desired addresses and postcodes in London. And that is all down to its proximity to the Royal Palace, Kensington Palace, you guys. Now, Kensington Palace was originally Nottingham House, but it was King William who had suffered horrendously from asthma. And Kensington at the time would have been known as the countryside, even though it's a mere 10-minute drive now from Buckingham Palace. But he felt the smog of central London, and where he was living at the time actually was in Whitehall Palace, was affecting his asthma. So he got the great architect, Sir Christopher Wren. He purchased the property, and as soon as the king moved here, King William and Mary, joint rulers, all his courtiers moved here, and eventually the land developers came in, and in no time at all, it became one of the most desired addresses in London, a bit like Belgravia, I guess, in Eaton Square, because always the exclusivity of these properties are determined by their proximities to the palaces. Now, look at this stunning, stunning church right on the centre of the High Street. George Gilbert Scott. I'm so sorry. I tend to confuse the two of them. Sir George Gilbert Scott creation, 1872 it dates back to. George Gilbert Scott was also responsible for St. Pancras, the Grand Midland Hotel at St. Pancras Station, and of course the incredible Albert Memorial, which is situated in Kensington Gardens. But this gorgeous church is on the site of the original settlement where Kensington gets its name. Now look at these gardens. Now this is like a little quiet oasis away from the world of the shoppers and the hustle and bustle of Kensington High Street. Now it's still quite noisy, but alas, a beautiful little garden oasis. And this gorgeous church and some of the old graveyards you'll see here. So it was built on the site of a settlement which was known as a ton, and that was founded back in the 8th century by either, his name was Shenazit or Sinazig. I don't know, it's a really difficult one. We put up the spellings anyway. Shenazit or Sinazig. And he founded a ton, and we believe the two words were corrupted together. Look at this, and all the graveyards I've been to before we head in there. I've never seen anything like this. It's absolutely beautiful. And it looks like it could be a mass burial site. Possibly when I see these, it's usually nuns or friars or Benedictine abbots maybe. or monks that were buried here, but it says, remember before God all those ashes are buried in this place. Oh wow, so it's an actual cremation burial site. All those ashes that are buried in this place. How fabulous, isn't that gorgeous? The architecture of this, I mean, the Gilbert Scots were just geniuses. Actually, the manor of Kensington in the area after the Norman conquest was actually given to Aubrey de Vere. And when Aubrey de Vere's son became exceptionally ill, he was later cured by the abbot of the Benedictine Abbey of St. Mary at Abingdon, where the current abbey gets its name. Now, in gratitude, the de Veres bequeathed the church on the site and 270 acres to the abbey. And they continue to own the land in this area up until, of course, the Henry VIII's dissolution of the monasteries in the 1530s. So I wanted to take you just inside to see if we can just get an interior shot of the church. It's this stunning entrance into the church now. You'll see the way my voice has gone down already because I want to be respectful, but I hope it's going to be acceptable to film in here. It's hard not to imagine abbots or monks, the abbot or the monks, walking around here chanting. It's almost like the cloisters of the Abbey, of Westminster Abbey. This is the main entrance into the church. Now, I hope we can get inside. If not, I'll find some footage to put for you. And look at those doors. They're just beautiful, and the arch on the way in. This is a matchstick model of the church. Amazing. Coming up the main door, and we're going to take a walk up here, Kensington Church Walk, and that's going to bring us up as far as Camden Hill. And we have boys and infants, welcome to St. Mary's Abbots School. And it looked like it was one of those charitable schools for the poor. They're usually donated by the uniforms and the blue coats that they used to wear in certain neighbourhoods in the area. All over London, actually. We might have featured that on some of our other tours. Look how quaint this is. Now, we're definitely walking past properties that are in the region of anywhere from 1 up to 10 million. The average apartment along here in Kensington Church Walk would definitely be going in the region of 1 to 2 million. We found a plaque there. Ezra Pound, the poet, lived in here from 1909 to 1914. Oh wow, imagine having a home in this gorgeous little area. They look like mews, but I'm not quite sure if they are. So I'm just actually in awe of how quiet it is. Look at these beautiful little stores. Hornets Heritage Clothing. This is very almost Victorian. Beautiful, beautiful stores. English classics and international designers. Just a hop, skip and a jump away from Kensington High Street. A Japanese knife company, how special. Didn't know there was a specific requirement for Japanese knives in London. Look at this beautiful little antique store. Oh wow, darn it. And this is just exquisite. Look at this beautiful street, folks. Oh, to have one of these tiny little properties here. Tiny, not so tiny, but just divine. Look, it's a beautiful pub. Elephant and Castle pub. I'm actually ashamed to admit this is the first time I've ever been around here. Look at Gordon Place. I mean, just magnificent. Now this street is Hornton Street, folks. I daren't even hazard a guess at the price of the properties in this area. It's no wonder the area has attracted celebrities over the years, including Jimmy Page, Robbie Williams, Victoria and David Beckham, with Simon Cowell for a period of time, Richard Branson. We know Richard Harris, the famous actor. There's one other, Elton John had a property around here as well, actually. Look at these stunning homes. I'll get you a better view of them now. All the same brick. The whole way up this street. It's like a checkers board. Love, love, love. Just fascinated at the size of these properties. I mean, this is practically central London. The comprehensive right ahead. And every time I start to try to film, somebody noisy comes along. So the first purpose-built comprehensive, actually, in the area, and it was opened in 1958. That's a huge building there behind the trees. Now, of course, with the wealthy and established in the area, it had some very high-profile pupils there. Angelica Houston, the actress, actually studied in there, as did the writer Polly Toynbee. I believe Tony Benn, he was a Labour member of Parliament, sent his kids to school in here as well. But they're all the kids from the comprehensive. They're playing basketball, is it, or football? Football. And that's going to bring us into this beautiful entrance to the stunning Holland Park. Now, this park is very well signposted. And every entrance you head into, there is a wonderful map here telling you where you are. Now, I suppose some of the highlights of this park are the Kyoto Japanese gardens. There's the Fukushima Garden. Today we're going to make our way towards the Opera House, the Orangery, and Holland House and Terrace, which is now partially a hostel. But first, let's make our way towards the Japanese gardens, you guys. Look how beautiful. I mean, it's the perfect day for a walk, albeit quite cold, but loving the tranquility of this beautiful area. And I'm thinking it's been a while since we had a park walk, actually. You know what's coming into my head here? I'm actually thinking this reminds me so much, this beautiful area, of Hampstead, which is my still, without a question or doubt, my dream destination to live. Incredible. That truly is the beauty of this great city, in my opinion. You're in one of the busiest metropolises in the world. But you're only ever always 10 minutes walking distance from a beautiful open green space where you can escape the world. I mean, literally, and I know I've said it like 4,000 times, but I have to say it again. We're literally only 10 minutes from High Street, Kensington. And I think this is the Earl of Holland, one of the Earls of Holland, where Holland Park and Holland House that we'll be visiting shortly, the outside of which gets its name. Originally owned by a courtier. Cope was his name. And he was one of the courtiers in King James I's court. So Walter Cope, in around 1605, he had originally owned the house. But when he died, it passed to his daughter. And she was married to the first Earl of Holland. So this is one of those. Lord Holland, born and died in Roman numerals. I will not be attempting to decipher that. I wonder if he was quite happy about having pigeons on his head for eternity. Alas, a bit late for that now. Okay, so a few of the rules and regulations here. Please respect this garden, which has been created for quiet appreciation. Okay, so I'm not going to be shouting. Stay on the path. Resist feeding the fish or birds. Clear up litter. Dogs should be left outside the garden. And the wheelchair access is by ramp entrance. Just trying to be mindful of other people in the area. Look at this. Oh, wow, we're doing a little model shoot here. Somebody in full Japanese dress? Indeed it is. Wow. How pretty. I'm going to head down here. So it's not very accessible, but you'd have to be very careful when walking here, guys. Saying do not feed the fish, but people are leaving money in there. So it's obviously somewhere make a wish. So let's just head down. This lady's getting a lovely selfie. We'll wait for the fish now because he is beautiful when he comes our way. Oh, there he is. See him over here? Just about there. Look at that. We'll wait for him to swim in our direction. Imagine this on a beautiful summer's day when all the flowers are out. I'm going to be coming back here. It's a bit like the Japanese garden at Regent's Park as well. We got some beautiful shots of that one at autumn when the parks are, without a question of doubt, at its most beautiful. The ducks are living their best life, my lovelies. Oh, the heron on his way in. I'm not waiting around for that fish anymore. You got the idea though. Look at her hair. I'm going to ruin her picture now. Ooh, sorry. Okay. Onward. Let's see if we can find... Look how pretty this is. Oh my God, what an amazing day for a walk as well. Now it is very, very cold, but we're well wrapped up. And I think one of the best angles here of this park is right here. The beautiful gardens. And in the background, what would have been the east wing of Holland House. There in the background. We'll go a bit closer shortly. Now the house isn't there in its entirety anymore. This is the Orangery. I'll bring you around there in just a moment. But formerly owned by Sir Walter Cope, who was a courtier in King James I's court. When he passed away, his house was bequeathed to his daughter, who married the first Earl of Holland. But I think it was the third Earl of Holland. He was a big powerhouse in political circles. And he did a lot of entertaining inside this house. Official title was the third Baron Holland of Holland. Sorry for sniggering. And he was a political leader, but he entertained many famous guests here, including a former Prime Minister, Lord Palmerston. She was a favourite of Queen Victoria. He was, rather. Lord Byron would have spent time here. The poet, the likes of Charles Dickens and Sir Walter Scott. So this is what's remaining of a gorgeous building, Holland House. Now this is a former East Wing. Now a youth hostel. It's probably one of the nicer hostels I've ever seen on my travels. Look at this. right in the middle of the park. Just beautiful. I'm going to bring you around the Orangery now. We're also in the close proximity of the Opera House, where they have a lot of beautiful operatic recitals in the summertime, outdoor ones. I feel like that's very appropriate for the neighbourhood we're in. Look at these mosaics. We'll head around here, down into the Orangery, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. And it's a great place to get a cup of coffee as well, in the middle of your walk, if you choose to take the route I've taken, which I hope you will. This is a beautiful sculpture, actually. Boy with Bear Cubs, it's called. And it's by John McCallan Swan, lent by the trustees of the Tate Gallery. It's really pretty. I like that. Now, what I love about this, when we head in this direction, let me just show you how pretty it is down here. I can only imagine how stunning it would be in full bloom. But they're beautiful paintings on under the alcove here. And I imagine what it would have been like to be in the court of St. James. This is the Orangery. Could you imagine what this would have been like in its heyday? With ladies walking around here dressed in just those stunning dresses, taking a promenade around the gardens, suffering from consumption. That was my favourite in every Jane Austen novel as well. But look over here. This is what I'm talking about. There's the peacock. Oh, we found him. I might just put in some footage of the peacock I found yesterday, but aren't these gorgeous? This gives us an idea of what it would have been like living here in Holland Park. Could we have embraced those dresses, ladies? Can you imagine? It used to be such torture getting ready in that period. There were so many different layers and corsets, and I mean, very elegant. A far cry from today's society, that's for sure. But gorgeous, isn't it? It's just right out of a Jane Austen novel. It's the truth universally acknowledged that a single man in possession of a large fortune should be in want of a wife. Never forget that, the opening lines of Pride and Prejudice. No room for feminism back then, my lovelies. You needed your husband and that was it. I'd possibly have been committed for wanting to remain single. So this is the Orangery. And we'll be heading back here during the summertime to get a really good look. Oh wow, look at this. A dog toilet. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm excited about it, but it's like a cat litter for dogs. Oh my God, they think of everything now, how amazing. So we're heading out the exit of Ilchester Place. And that's going to take us around onto a very famous street in the area, where I'm hoping to get into a stunning home of a painter and architect. Let's see how we go. Just these tree-lined streets, these neighbourhoods. It just blows my mind. We're actually in central London. Technically. Insane, isn't it? Insanely beautiful. Look at some of these homes. Yeah, they're very similar, aren't they? Hampstead and Kensington, guys. We're right beside the former director's house, Michael Winner. He grew up in the house, actually. And he sold the house on Melbury Road here to Robbie Williams. And right beside it, the architectural masterpiece of what's known as the Tower. And I'll show it to you right now. We'll get the best view here on Melbury Road. Look at the tower, guys. Isn't that just... I mean, it was you people who told me about the documentary. Now, this is Jimmy Page's house of Led Zeppelin fame. It is you guys that told me to watch this documentary online where he actually chronicles and shows some of the interior of his exquisite, exquisite home. And he bought this house from Richard Harris, the actor, who Jimmy Page apparently outbid. Is it David Bowie for the house, I believe? Yeah, it was David Bowie. And this is the home of Robbie Williams of Take That fame. And that home is actually worth in the region of something like 60 to 100 million as well. But it's the interior of Jimmy Page's house, which is supposed to be just exquisite. Well, it is, because I've seen the documentary. There's an amazing documentary online. He's got some windows open up there, letting fresh air in. Oh my God, any chance I could come in, Jimmy? I would give my right arm to meet him. They do have a little bit of a war going on between them. I don't know if it's been resolved, but I mean, it's an absolute masterpiece. And this is also regarded to be one of the best properties in Kensington. So warring factions between both, but you can refer to my celebrity house tour of London to find out what's going on between the two of them. Brings us on down here around the corner. There's another famous home of a famous painter and architect, and that is Leighton House. Now, Leighton House is open to the public now. I've never been inside there, and it's supposed to be absolutely spectacular because he himself was a celebrated painter and sculptor during the Victorian era. Now, he was well-travelled, and apparently that's reflected in his designs. Apparently the interior of this building is dazzling, with a collection of amazing tiles he brought back with him from the Middle East. He actually received a knighthood in 1878, and in 1896 he became the first painter to be given a peerage before he died. I'm really excited about this, but you're seeing it for the first time as much as I am. Some of these homes, the jaw-dropping cars in the neighbourhood are just... It's really a different world. Oh, anyway, what a girl can dream. Leighton House. So here it is, you guys. Let's see what it's all about. The home of the Victorian painter and sculptor, Frederick Lord Leighton. This house is as impressive as the gift shop. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Wait till we see inside this home. This is the reception room where visitors were first greeted, ladies and gents, when they arrived. This stunning collection. And he was one of the most eminent British artists of the late 19th century, and the architecture, decoration, and contents of his home were all expressions of his artistic spirit. Can I tell you, I'm absolutely in love with this man already. This is the staircase hall. What I didn't know about him already, I will be studying about him. I fully intend on finding out everything I need to know about this man. What an incredible place. Look at this. This is to reflect his travels all over the world. Oh my days. It's a mausoleum. Look at this. From the guidebook right now, just so as you know, you guys, this is the Arab Hall. And it was a centerpiece of an extension made to the house at the end of the 1870s. More expensive to build than the whole of the original house, and completion in 1882 had caused a sensation. Of course it did. It's giving me some sort of sensation right now. This is absolutely exquisite. The space was inspired by the architecture, interiors, and courtyard gardens. Oh my God, I'm just blown away by the beauty of this house. Look at the rugs. Wow, 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 wow. This is the library, and this was added the same time as the Arab Hall. And it says here, he was elected president of the Royal Academy in 1878, and here he could work at his correspondence and growing administrative duties. Look at this. Oh, his paintings. I love this man. I'm like obsessed. Completely obsessed. I'm embarrassed I didn't know anything about him, but I promise you I will. That's said to be the statue of Narcissus, by the way. And it's just breathtaking, jaw-dropping. I'm actually so upset I didn't even know this existed. This is the drawing room. Jimmy Page, if your house is as fantastic as this, I don't think Robbie Williams would compare, but this is just, I mean, can I live here forever? Gardens, let's have a look through here. Oh, wow. I've always been one for red velvet, but this is just next level. Look at the gardens. And it says here that Leighton entertained many of the most celebrated artists and society figures of his day here around this dining table, reportedly using a chair that was slightly higher than those of his guests. The room was mainly given over to the display of pottery collections collected by Leighton as he travelled either side of the large oak fireplace. Here they are. And two arched niches were created to house circular arrangements of plates, while the large sideboard, designed by Leighton and his architect George Atchison, provided additional display space. Okay. Oh my God. When this table apparently was extended, it could accommodate 18 guests. Well, and this is candlelit up here. Let's see this incredible painting here. Sir Frank Dixie, The End of the Quest, it says. Stunning. The peacock. Wow, wow, wow. Look at these mosaics on the wall. This is too much. Can we discuss the simplicity of his bedroom as opposed to the absolute exquisite exterior of every other room? But in the book it says this was his own private, intimate space. And it's a stark contrast from everywhere else that was on total exhibition, so he kept this as simplistic as possible. I love that this is a huge contrast. It just shows how privacy and where he truly felt comfortable. Everything else was all about exhibitionism, and this was about solitary. I love it. I just absolutely love it. So this is what he referred to as his snug, ladies and gents. And right in the corner here is a pierced wooden screen that's called a mashrabia in Arabic, and it was purchased in Cairo. And when he installed this, the idea was for it to overlook the Arab Hall, which you can see through the screens, and you can hear the fountain up here. So the silk room and antechamber, he called it. Look at this. It was adorned with paintings and work from many artists and many of his friends, but most notably the majority are from him. But there is a Malay here as well. Look at that. Somebody in the mashrabia. This is a John Everett Malay, you guys. Oh my God, amazing. Now we'll just see his studio, and then that's the best I can do. Okay, my lovelies, hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. What a stunning house, right? I am so looking forward to more content in the next few weeks, you guys. 2025, Tours by Foot London, Sinead signing out. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I said that quite commanding, didn't I? Thanks, guys.